Denver seems to be in excellent spirits. Drogo means all business by the look on his face. In the bottom left side of Blackburn once more, we're looking at the main base, who's representing Team Altar. It is PtitDrogo.
And spawning over in the bottom right-hand side, as our red Zerg, it is Denver. With a little bit of a pause going on here from Drogo. He just wants to build the suspense, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually not exactly sure what it could possibly be. Drogo says sorry, Denver says that he's ready. Seems like it's a hotkey issue by the looks of it. I heard you have not a mod. Ah, okay. It's alert sounds, right? Or error sounds. What do they call that?
Could be error sounds, yeah. Like command sounds or something. I always have it on. I don't know.
I sometimes have it on some account. Yeah, it's error sounds. That's how it's called in options. I have it turned off actually because I realized that once I'm streaming and I keep spamming a unit, not enough minerals, not enough minerals, not enough minerals. It's probably not the most pleasant viewing experience. So I turned it off a long time ago.
I thought you were going to go with... Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to go with the idea of like when you're streaming, you don't want people to know how many errors you're continuously making. I thought that's the path you were going to go down.
No, but that's not an error though. That's just me being ahead of potentially making an error of not actually building a unit. So I think in a weird way, it's a good thing.
That's true. That's true. On my stream, they never hear it because I'm too slow.
You're still pretty fast, man.
Okay, so this game so far, Drogo obviously went for the hatch block, gets it done. Denver going for the pretty much the only third you can take on this map, right? I mean, Blackburn is pretty much the only map in the pool where it's kind of you're meant to take a certain third, not the one that's closer to your opponent.
A little bit of an update as well. Seems like Christiana won his first series of the tournament, getting a 2-1 victory over Strange. I don't think that's super surprising, even though Strange is good. He qualified by beating Goblin in the deciding best of 5 of the upper bracket of the qualifier a couple days ago. But we've really seen that Christiana just belongs in the big leagues at this point. That man is always taking best of 3s, has even made it into the playoffs. He's really becoming a very solid contender in the top 16 of Europe.
Yeah, I think it's good to give those players some love over on the B stream. Like Christiana is definitely a guy that he's young, he's feisty, he's fierce, and he's just been on the up and up. I know a lot of hype is around Max Packs right now, but can't forget about the other young'uns, and he's definitely one that's been pretty damn solid as well. This game, Drogo has been scouting very diligently. Is going for a Stargate on his side of things now. In the pre-interview kind of thing, at the start, he did talk about how he's the only honest Protoss because he hasn't made a single Void Ray. Could he be mixing things up here, you think, Kev?
He is a great Oracle player, but this is definitely a map where we could open up with a couple of Void Rays plus 1 air weapons. But Drogo is not the guy to then go carriers immediately. He's always been a big fan, I think, of Zealots, Archons, and Immortals. He does really well. He's great in spacing those armies out, and he's also great in just finding little opportunities where the Protoss army is just a bit more powerful. I actually remember a couple of the builds that Drogo had where I don't know if that opens up with an Oracle, but he just shows up like 6-7 minutes into the game. It's like 7 minutes and 20 seconds, and he's got an army of like Archons and Immortals, and I'm like, wow, how do you have all these units, man? Like when I do this build, I have like 3 Zealots and a couple of Phoenix, but yeah, I guess that's the downside of building too many Phoenixes. But Drogo has often had just some very cool and very tight build orders.
Yeah, he's very much a player that has this kind of tree diagram in his head. If he sees X, he responds with Y, and he's got something for every kind of situation. I remember Harston talking about him and how his response to the game is very unique. Denver did make quite a few lings here, mainly to deal with those adepts, which, you know, won't be able to get too much done here in Drogo. He's going to get away with a reasonably timed third, but actually it's not going down just yet. Getting a second Oracle is Drogo.
I actually like what happened there, where Denver saw the Oracle and he's like, all right, he's going to activate Pulsar Beam, so I'm going to have to disengage. And he runs away, but Drogo's like, no, I don't want to activate Pulsar Beam, because the moment I do that, you run away. And Denver's like, oh, he's not activating it, so I have to go back to make sure that he activates it. But then Drogo's like, nope, I'm still not doing it, because now the other 2 adapts from the low ground are here to help out. So he still has all the energy on the Oracle. It's a little interaction between these 2 players, but I like the way that Drogo handled that.
Yeah, me too, certainly. And these oracles do fly in. I think that was a little bit of target fire with the spore on the weaker one there. Oh, nice try by... I mean, that was a nice dance by both of them, right? Denver saved it, but then Drogo came back afterwards and got the kills.
Yep, and even a third Oracle is out now. So triple Oracle coming out of Drogo. Denver has quite a few Zerglings. There's no shield battery yet at the third base. Not in the net either. This can actually get bad. This is where Drogo needs to make damn sure he doesn't mess up. I don't see... Man, I'm actually so sad that Denver stopped fighting that one adept there. I feel like he could have kept going for it, because just having a couple links in the main base, A, good scout, B, very annoying stuff to deal with. I think that Denver should have tried to keep fighting there.
I think you might be onto something. It also looked like those gateways warped in somewhere that wasn't at the natural there, where they could have maybe bust in, got a bit of scouting info going on. Denver's doing a good job of droning up behind this. Oh, the Oracles just want to fight the Queens here. Do pick off one Queen, maybe a second here as well is going to go down. And
wow,
that's not bad, not bad. A few drones as well. 4 for one Oracle. I don't hate it. Wow, 4 drones.
Yeah, no, Drogo is playing an excellent game up to this point, and Denver is getting bopped a little bit. Now, this is Blackburn. Wow, 16 drones. Denver realizing that this hasn't really gone his way. He's like, all right, let's just make 16 drones and hope nothing else is happening. I loved everything that Drogo did there, but I think the icing on the cake would have been if he was able to sneak 2 adepts to the other side of the map and see if those adepts could have shaded into a mineral line somewhere too. I think that's just when you start leveling up and you really feel like you're in the zone. Still, I think Drogo's more than happy with the first 6 minutes of this game, killing 2 queens and 8 drones already, all for basically a single oracle.
Yeah, I think you're right about the adepts, but also just the fact that if he doesn't take damage, and he's dealt quite a bit of damage, he can consider himself ahead all right. So it's also like, I'm being quite safe with this. So I don't hate anything that Drogo's doing so far. I think he's playing a very clean PvZ with his take on it as well, because he's going for a very gateway heavy army, not going for the arc on Zealot that he very often falls back on a lot of the time in this matchup, but yeah, that poor changeling.
Yep, I mean, once upon a time Drogo was one of the absolute masters of what the Frenchies like to call the baguette style. That is the style that made Lilbao almost invincible in PvZ in Heart of the Swarm. So he's still probably quite comfortable with sentries and blink stalkers, but he's also going double robo behind this. He's even making a safety immortal. Now, for all the good that Drogo has done, you still need to be careful, because you don't need the best economy or the cleanest game ever to make a lot of roaches and ravages. It's just that you need a good start to transition out of it. And Denver is actually getting a reasonable fight there. I felt like at first killing 2 sentries, but he did lose a couple of roaches, and even 1 second ravager goes down. It started off somewhat promising, and now it's just getting weird.
Yeah. What do you feel about the double robo, by the way? Like, I know we're going to have a lot of roaches, lings, ravagers, banelings and such on the field, but what does Drogo really want to do to combat that? Because right now he's going for the disruptors.
I mean, you make it seem like that's a poor choice, I think.
No, I don't think it's a poor choice at all. It's just, is that exactly what he wants to do?
Absolutely. I think as long as Denver doesn't have Vipers, if you can get 3 or 4 disruptors out, how are you supposed to get a good engagement as a Zerg? And with the way that this game has gone so far, Denver simply does not have the luxury to drop an infestation pit, to tack up to Hive, get a couple Vipers out. So he's really banking on roaches and ravages to make the difference. And that's often fine if you go up against 1, maybe 2 disruptors. If we're looking at 4+ disruptors, this is going to be hard. Don't want to say it's now or never for Denver, but he's definitely looking for some success here. Drogo probably just wants to buy a little bit of extra time. I am a bit shocked that Drogo doesn't have that many static defenses. And he's even investing in a fleet beacon and a Stargate, as the first Nova is big though. The second one on the right side is also quite nice, or that was the third one. Only 1 battery, but look at that overcharge. I mean, this is the easiest haul that I ever think that Drogo was going to have here. But I felt like it was supposed to be hard, spending all that money on a fleet beacon, a Stargate, not having that many cannons. But Drogo is just looking flawless here.
He's looking really good, man. Like, let's bring up the resources lost tab just for a moment here, just to look how solid Drogo's been. He's lost literally a third of what his opponent has done. And that isn't because Denver's playing bad by any means, it's just Drogo's playing real damn solid and all round. It's lovely to see.
Yeah, Denver is in all sorts of trouble, even if he's up a little bit in supply. He's down in workers, and he still has no infestation pit, no spire. he needs to find damage. And not a little bit of damage, but no. Ideally, he needs to take out a lot of units and kill a base or a bunch of probes. If he doesn't, this game is just all over. There's no other way to put it. Let's see if the second fight goes a bit better. Here are the Disruptors. The Novas are so mighty fine on the left and on the right. And I think this is almost it. I think Denver is going to leave this game as he's now down 40 supply. And he still has no way to transition out of the current comp. Seems like he is going to try, but... Drogo, what? No, that was... No, you don't want to do that too many times, Drogo. I don't know if that's the laziness we were talking about earlier, but, you know, he can afford it.
That's the eagerness to win, to get to Katowice, Kev. That's what that is. And it's almost like one of those rugby war cries, you know, where they slap each other or slap themselves. But yeah, I mean, I liked it from Drogo. I like the fact that he feels that Denver's on the back foot here. He's survived till carriers as well. A little bit supply block maybe, but he will fix that. He'll remedy that. And his economy's looking sharp as well behind it all.
Well, Drogo killed more Stalkers in this game than Denver did.
Yeah, I think so. It was glorious.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe I'm biased. I just like seeing Stalkers die.
We do have a little recall. Nice one by here by Denver. That's at least gonna keep Drogo at bay for a bit longer. I mean, even the Oracles are still finding damage. This is a beautiful display of skill by Drogo. I honestly think this has been utter and complete domination almost from the start. And I mean, Denver is now gonna try to go up to Hive, but a 66 drone Hive Zerg? Yeah, I don't know about that one.
These are very, very outrageous blinks, but Drogo can get away with it. GG and a big fist bump after Mach 1 here went his way, but he looked damn good. I was looking at those Oracles, by the way, as well. One of those Oracles, 20 kills, which that was primarily drones that game, like absolutely, and maybe a couple of Queens as well, but very nicely handled by Drogo. He didn't look like he was out of control at any point. That attack from Denver that looked kind of scary, he was just like, hold on. A few nice disruptor hits, nice shield battery placement as well, nice overcharge. Just very well handled by the Frenchman, aka
I don't think there was a single bad disruptor, right? I feel like every Purification Nova was at least decent, but most of them were just cash money.
Okay,
there was links. Yeah.
There was one that was cash money on himself.
Yeah,
you could call a bad disruptor hit, maybe, but
yeah.
Overall, I think it was pretty damn well handled, and when you have disruptors connecting every time, and the Zergs also running away, so not only are those units not dealing damage, they're also getting blown up that they're trying to avoid. It's just, it would have been better to attack move with them and at least let them do something. But yeah, it just went real bad for Denver.
I forgot about that one. A little Tyson Fury moment, you know. Sometimes you want to throw an uppercut and you just hit yourself in the chin. But besides the one Nova where he blew up 4 or 5 Stalkers, just a flawless game by Drogo. Very impressed. I think he lost 5,000 resources in that game. Denver lost close to 14,000. 9,000 resource different. And this is not split map romanticide where Ghosts have been sniping units from afar. No, this was a game where we were supposed to trade. Well, that was one of the most one-sided trades I've ever seen.
Yeah, and Drogo did it his way as well, right? Like, I know the 3 Oracle opening, or 3 Oracle openings in general, you don't see them all that much. And I know Drogo is the kind of guy that said, hey, I haven't gone Void Ray one time last season. I'm like an honorable Protoss. I think he's going to stick with it as well, where he's just not going to go Void Ray at all. And, I mean, he is that kind of guy that if he says something, he'll stand by it, like, maybe down to his own fault kind of thing. But so far, he's doing it really damn well. And spawning over in the bottom left of Jagannatha as the blue Protoss, it is PtitDrogo.
And in the top right side of this beautiful green map, we're looking at the main base of the French Zerg. It is Denver. By the way, Ben, I just checked Clem's Twitter. You're unfollowed, by the way.
I'm not surprised. Sorry, Clem.
Nah, he never would. Clem's too nice.
He's far too nice. He'd be like, oh, that demo, he's getting on a bit, isn't he? Like, he's bound to forget a thing or two.
On the Monday night when we had the final of the weekly, which was a great final. In case you guys want to watch some more StarCraft 2, I highly recommend going into the VODs of Wardy or Statfest or my own and take a look at Clem versus MaxPax. Or you take a look at Clem's stream. He was streaming first-person view. Clem against MaxPax. That was an amazing series. And I cheered for MaxPax the entire thing because he had never won. And then I was like, hey, Clem, you want to do an interview afterwards, after he won? He's like, yeah, sure. I was like, sorry, man, I was cheering for Max. He's like, what the hell, Roddy?
He said that?
Yeah, no, he's like cheering for a Protoss, shaking my head. But, you know, in my defense, Clem has won 25 of the European Weekly, so something among those lines. And MaxPax had never won one, so I think that it's always fun to cheer for the underdog.
It's always nice to share the love a bit, you know. I mean, Clem, he's actually catching up with Big Gabe here. Like, that's actually pretty damn wild.
Yeah, he was until like I would say 2 months ago, and Gabe suddenly won 6 out of 8 again, man. He won 6 out of 8, so Gabe started to make a slightly bigger gap. Gabe couldn't play on Monday. Otherwise, we all know what would have happened.
Yeah, he gave everybody else a chance, man. That's what happened right there. Gabe's also very generous, you know.
They shouldn't even count if Gabe doesn't participate, to be honest.
I mean, what is the Big Gabe Weekly without Big Gabe? I mean, You're absolutely right.
All right, we've got a Stargate on the way once more for Drogo. Since his Oracle control looked phenomenal in that previous game, I'd be shocked to see him not go Oracles. Especially because apparently he said that he wouldn't build Void Rays. I am pretty sure we're going to see a couple Void Rays of Drogo throughout the season. Perhaps not today. I
don't think he's ever going to do it, man.
You really think he's going to go 7 best of 3s without building a Void Ray?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
No, I will bet you on that. He's going to build.
Oh, really?
There are so many moments where you could build Void Rays.
Well, how much crypto are we going to bet, Kev? Coinbase crypto, of course.
I'll bet MMR. You have to leave 5 games in a row against me.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. I would never.
I mean, that's like even. Yeah, that would be brutal. Oh, I'd do it though.
We'll bet on a dinner and a cold one the next time we're around.
A cold one?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I buy you a dinner and a cold one every time I meet you. Anyway, like this is.
That is such a lie, and you know it, mate. Oh my god. Could you?
I even let you stay at my place. You know, fed you, cooked for you as well, gave you beers and stuff. You were doing great. Anyhow, game. Oh, Kev, there's a game going on.
You gave me beers that I bought. Yeah, it's so generous of you, Benjamin.
Oh yeah. I forgot you bought them.
We've got an Oracle out. Drogo not taking that Nexus ultra early. He just likes playing it safe and get that second gateway. I mean, obviously you want to get a wall up. The circling count is not high enough. You can see what Denver is trying to do here, right? He's like, hey man, activate Pulsar Beam. I've got a lot of links here. Drogo, you can see he's a veteran. He's not falling for it. He's like, nope. Because I know that having this extra energy on my Oracles can really come in handy later on. And he definitely showed that in the previous game.
Denver just kind of poking here, just trying to make sure that, hey, can I actually get a cancel on this third Nexus here? Because I do have quite a few lings. I mean, 9 is a respectable number. Nothing too crazy there from him. Just whipping out a few more as well, just to be defensive. But those Oracles, Kev, come in, get a few cheeky kills straight away. But this time, a lot more damage.
Dead Oracle, no?
Yeah.
Dead Oracle! Yep.
Oh, and Drogo, he saw that on his face. He was like, what? That died? And I mean, that's a bit of a rough one. The other Oracle took its space there. I'm not sure if Queens can actually reach that corner, but yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there is a safe spot, but actually not totally sure. I mean, Denver is finding a lot more success here in the beginning of the game, picking off a probe, picking up an Oracle. Seems like Drogo is getting a very early Robo Bay, but he's doing it very different than he did on Blackburn. This time it's not double Robo. Look at the amount of damage that Denver is finding here. The tables are turned, Ben. First game, it felt like it was all Drogo. Every little interaction ended up in favor of our Protoss. This time, I feel like every little interaction is working out a lot better for Denver. Eco damage and an Oracle kill.
Yeah, Denver's actually playing really well. Like, I think these two are very nicely matched, actually. I know we all kind of bet on, or predicted Drogo to take it overall. Like, it's one of those games where I would not be surprised at all if Denver was to take it, you know? Like, he absolutely can dance with some of the best of them. I remember him against Cyril a long time ago, back when we had lands on Kiev, and oh, this is a nice little catch as well. That poor shield battery there was just a little bit too late.
I mean, now like it feels like when it rains, it pours. Because now there were 2 interactions again that went in favor of Denver. Denver kills at Sentry right before the battery's up. And the second one was that this Oracle flew over the drone, That was supposed to be the 4th base of Denver. If Drogo was there half a second earlier, he could have activated Pulsar Beam, killed the drone, and at least delayed the hatchery from going down. Now he showed up a split second too late, and Denver just easily gets that hatchery up. I mean, Denver, I don't want to say if you're ever going to win a game, this has to be it, but you're not going to get a lot of starts that are better than this one.
No, absolutely not. And Denver, he's scouting pretty well as well. And Drogo, a little bit of a supply block going on here, but he's got the probe count that he really wanted on 3 bases, 67. He is going up to disruptors, getting +1, blink on the way as well, taking a 4th base as well. I mean, he's doing a lot of the stuff the same as he did in the first game. It's just Denver's doing a lot different, and I think that's mainly because of the lack of damage that Drogo was able to do to him.
And Denver just really cleaned up his early game here.
Yeah.
He went from taking damage left, right, and center to pretty much taking 0 damage. I mean, we lost 3 drones, but we killed an Oracle. That's just a trade that any Zerg is willing to take. Ideally, you want to lose 0, but you can't have it all in life. Denver this time has a much quicker hive on the way. He has a better economy than the previous game. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just open up with a couple of Vipers immediately. We have a Lurker then. There is a Disruptor here. I mean, we know how quick those balls are through those acceleration zones. From the high ground.
Wow.
Well done. Steph Curry with the shot.
I mean, that's one way to, and look at Denver in his chair there on his webcam. He's like, big sigh. It's like, damn it, this game was going so damn well. It's still going well, Denver. Keep your head in it, because you're absolutely not down and out of it. But yeah, that was a nice way for Drogo to just kind of get back into it. Oh, nice juke.
You're not going to get that. Not near an overcharged battery. But good job not losing too many Zerglings, of course. It's Oracle of Drogo finding a couple of drones here and there. Yeah, it's obviously very frustrating for a Zerg to lose 9 roaches like that. I believe that's what it was. Or 8 roaches, apparently, in a Zergling. But no worries, Denver. You're still in a better spot than you were at any given moment on Blackburn. You've got Vipers on the way. First Lurker upgrade is on the way. We have a couple of Hydras on the field. 80 drones going up to 5 bases. And look at the minimap, and that's a lot of creep too.
Yeah, Drogo hasn't really gone and dealt with the creep at any point at all this game. Like, he had one of his oracles killed, which maybe that was going to be used to do it. Going up to Fleet Beacon as well now with the 2nd Stargate, but Lurkers with Seismic Spines are on the way, and it doesn't look like Drogo has much to deal with that, especially with the fact that his Disruptors are going to get countered by those Vipers.
I am mostly concerned about the fact that he's got 0 high templates, yeah. Like, he needs feedback. He's going to warp in a couple immediately. I think 2 of them are going to morph. He's going to morph everything into Archons. What he really needs here is a couple of feedbacks, but he doesn't perhaps know that yet. I think he's going to be very shocked to see how quick the Vipers are. These are slow Lurkers. Oh, Novas will connect once more with a lot of roaches. My goodness. That's, well, another 8 or 9 roaches down the drain. I think it's a bit wild for Denver to be aggressive with Lurkers if you don't have the adaptive talents.
Super much so, yeah. I mean, like, usually you go by the idea that you get the range upgrade. That kind of means you can be super good at being defensive. The speed upgrade first, yeah, that means you can kind of meander around, maybe do a few attacks here and there. These disruptor shots, by the way, it's just money every time.
Until they connect with Stalkers, but the Disruptors absolutely giving Drogo a lot of things to feel good about this game in the end. We've got a big Zealot weapon in the main base, couple of Roaches and Hydras, but now at the same time Drogo is going to try to find some success in the top left side. You're not going to kill the base with all the spines, but he should be able to get a cancel at least on the hatchery in the top left side. Yeah,
and that's what he's going for, those drones as well. They're like, no, we're not going to go over there. I love the stasis trap, potentially just buying a little bit of time. Let's see what... Oh! I mean, that's quite a few Lurkers that are grabbed by that.
Yeah, we can absolutely abduct a couple of key units here. First, Disruptor goes down. We're going to abduct an Immortal as well. Drogo obviously just wants to recall. I don't think he's going to get everything. Oh, he will get everything. So much for tactical recall, am I right? Oh, no, he forgot 2 Stalkers. What? Where did they even come from?
It's all right, Kev. We all make mistakes. I mean, I made a few earlier. They're really bad. All right, Denver. He is 200 supply now, and his army's starting to look real damn strong as well. Like, we've got still a few Roaches in the mix, but 8 Lurkers going up to 3-1 upgrades as well. Even more Lurkers joining the field.
Feedback.
Carriers are out.
Feedbacks. Oh, 2 out of 3 Vipers just got feedback. That's a very big deal. Nice one, gets another feedback. So we only lost a single carrier. Drogo taking, I think, a pretty good fight here at first. But he's leaving his Disruptors a little bit exposed. Drogo, you need to run. You don't have Storm, I don't know.
He does have quite a few force fields available to stop this from being hunted down. Does have a shield battery overcharge as well, which is nicely placed as well. We'll be able to come into this fight, but man, this is messy. This is scrappy.
Yep, but Drogo does have money in the bank too. Carriers do not have any upgrades. You know how I feel about that. Seems like one of the Archons is stuck too. The Lurkers getting forward. I would have loved to see that Nova actually go for the Lurkers. The guaranteed damage there. Drogo's still on the ropes. I mean, cannons are nice, but the disruptor count is very low. It's just 1 at this point. And Carriers, if Carriers had upgrades, Ben, I'd be like, you know what? I don't mind being down in supply here. They are 0-0 Carriers.
Yeah, it's really weird, right? Now he knows, and he's like, okay, get +1 going, get those upgrades up and rolling, because you need them, Drogo. You need them with this big of a commitment to the air units. And he blinks forward, trying to pick off a Lurker there, but was there a Queen? Queens are here as well. Denver is super committed.
Yeah, but it's great because there's only 1 disruptor. If Drogo had 3 or 4 disruptors, I absolutely believe that he can hold. But without them, I think this is going to be very hard. We have an overcharged battery trying to keep a couple of the Stalkers alive. But the carriers are out of interceptors. And that means that Drogo just has no DPS here. There really is not enough DPS in the army of Drogo.
Yeah, and that looks like it's going to be it. Denver with a big ol' attack here with a lot of tier 3 and big abducts. The Hydras take out all the carriers as well. And Drogo, caught out here massively, and Denver back on the board.
Funny how Drogo looked phenomenal in the first game, and Denver actually looked really good in the second game. Other than a few Novas maybe getting a slightly bigger connection than they are supposed to, the rest of the game looked very well by Denver. The early game was about as good as it's going to get when you go up against a top-tier Protoss like Drogo. And then I love the transitions. Little bit reckless with the Vipers when 2 out of 3 got feedback before he got an abduct off. But since Drogo lost so many of his disruptors before that and they were too exposed, Drogo just did not have enough actually firepower and ability to keep the big Zork army at bay.
No, yeah, definitely not. And I mean, maybe a lot of this came down to just how the early game went as well. Like, he lost way more probes. I don't think in the first game he lost anything to these random Zerglings that came out. But also one of his oracles, like, it really felt like he thought it would survive there in the top right and then was kind of surprised that it didn't. Really, just an unfortunate opening for Drogo, and that can really throw you off a bit. But yeah, Denver, it wasn't so much about Drogo playing significantly worse or anything like that. Just Denver really stepped it up, and it felt like if we get Drogo from game 1 against Denver in game 2, going at it in game 3, that is going to be a real cracker here, and I hope that's what we're going to get.
That'd be a certified back. Well, actually, it might be too good then, because then Drogo cannot kill anything but won't lose units, and then Denver just won't lose units, but he won't kill anything either. That means nothing is going to happen for the first 9 minutes.
Wow, that'd be brutal. Look at Denver, by the way. He's just grooving. Yeah. What do you think he's listening to?
Denver strikes me as an Avril Lavigne kind of guy. Like,
really?
Why do you always do this to me? Yeah, that's definitely what he's listening to.
I think he's more of a George Michael kind of dude, you know?
Maybe like Walking in Memphis. That's the song that I think suits Denver.
I think so.
But then he should change his name.
Yeah, called Memphis instead, you know?
It's a cool name, to be fair.
Absolutely, absolutely. All righty. 2K Atmosphere to set it all off on. And spawning over in the top right as our blue Protoss, it is PtitDrogo.
And in the bottom left side of 2K, we're looking at the main base of that French Zergy. Will he be crowned the best player in France after winning this best of 3? It is Denver.
You know, I'm so looking forward to somebody that tunes in now that didn't hear before me messing up. They're like, has Rotterdam lost the plot here, man? Did he forget about Clem?
I'll do that for you, Benny. We'll put the blame on me.
Okie dokie.
It's good to have DreamHack back, right?
Yeah, mate, I'll be honest. Like, yesterday I was trying to make plans, and I was like, yeah, tomorrow I'm totally free. And then I was like, wait a minute, DreamHack's tomorrow. I'm casting tomorrow. I was like very genuinely surprised that it was back so quick, man.
Yeah. Feels like all 3 seasons happened 3 weeks from each other. It's like, man, I wonder what's the other season, you know? I mean, I guess summer, fall, winter. Spring must take a long time over at DreamHack. Like, that's an 8-month season.
I mean, yeah, they are based in Sweden, so I mean, the dark does last for a long time over there.
You think Drogo will stick with the Oracles, though, despite the fact that they didn't do too well in Game 2?
I actually think so. I think this is a map. If I think about the dead airspace behind the base where he tried to get to on Jagannatha, I know that's just a small bit about the Oracles, but keeping them alive is a lot easier on this map than Jagannatha, I feel. And if your opponent expands like is done here with Denver, as in the triangular position, I think that's a lot easier to harass with Oracles as well than just going horizontally across the map on Jagannatha, where you're always against the wall of the map itself.
One thing I am still missing a little bit from Drogo is him getting some value out of these safety adepts that we kind of just built as Protoss early on. You need something as part of your wall of, you need something to keep those initial Zerglings at bay when you want to go up to 3 bases. But I feel like whenever you watch a Zest or a Max Pax, then these random adepts only show up, whether they, even if they don't go for resonating glaives at all, and they just find themselves in a nice spot between a mineral line and an extractor. They pull more units out of position, find a couple drone kills. I'd love to see Drogo put those units to use, because making them part of your main army is honestly pretty much useless.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you. I'm with you. And it can all come down to what's happening in your practice, because all it can take is one game where you try to run out, and then all of a sudden those 14 links show up, and it's like, gosh darn it, I just lost the game because of that move, right? And maybe going for the safer approach. But I'm totally with you. I think sometimes you do have to mix it up, and I think Drogo's on board with that, Kev.
Yep. We'll see. Can I just go for a defensive shade here? Yeah, just try to get a little bit of value. You can pick up 2 Zerglings, 1 drone. Yes, I mean, uno mas. It's one. One drone is better than none, then.
Definitely is, definitely is. The first Oracle is out, and we do have the Overlord being very free to scout here. Definitely a funny feeling, right? Going up against a Protoss where your Overlord, it's not getting shot by anything.
Yeah, it's like, where's the Void Ray? He almost misses the Void Ray at this point. This is part of my build order. Now I've got too much free supply.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be feeling like, well, this is odd. I meant to build an Overlord here. He kind of has that space to make anything he wants, but Drogo does start his third up now, along with the third Oracle, second gateway on the way. It just looks like very much the same old thing from the little PtitDrogo.
Yeah, but Drogo is a man with a lot of builds up his sleeve. Even though they may look the same, they are definitely not the same. This could very well just be a random Twilight Council, and suddenly 7 gate resonating glaive adepts. Even though it'd be a bit late, but Drogo's absolutely capable of pulling that stuff off.
Absolutely, and here the first 2 Oracles fly in. A little bit of drone damage, some more drone damage maybe, but a bit indecisive, but 6 drones to start things off. I don't think he's going to be too sad about that, but they are very, very wounded.
Not too sad about that. I think he's going to be ecstatic then. Getting 6 drone kills is very difficult. We do have a lot of links showing up here from Denver. No shield battery yet. One adept gets picked off. The second one is low on HP, but the Oracle saved the day.
Certainly do. I like that as well. It's just like, yeah, I'm activating this. Die. Okay, Roach Warren on the way. Drogo, we got to remember, like, playing against Drogo, given that he isn't going for the Void Rays at all, and he's been very proud of not going for Void Rays, he's a totally different Protoss to go up against. Like, all your usual timings are maybe a little bit like, okay, do I need this? Like, and the answer is no. Like, a lot of the time you don't. So these, like, safety Roach Warrens and stuff, he seems very set in the way that he wants to play. Definitely a fun thing to think about.
Then we're hoping to get lucky there and see if Drogo has no unit in the wall over, maybe a unit that's not on hold position. Trying to get fortunate like he got on Jagannatha. We'll find 1 probe for his efforts and probably get a cancel on this pylon. No, he does not. Drogo really needs this pylon because he's supply blocked at this point, so he wants this bad boy to finish up. Kind of like the safety force field.
Yeah, this game is definitely both of them playing very decently. Like, no mistakes have been made from what we can see. 3 Oracles gunning at it. Nice micro by both of them pulling the correct units back. I like this. This really does feel like Denver Game 2 against PtitDrogo Game 1.
Yeah, I mean, Drogo getting 6 kills though with the Oracles in the beginning. 6 drone kills, that is. That's kind of big. That's maybe a little bit more than Denver was supposed to lose there. But other than that, Denver has definitely cleaned it up once more. 77 drones going up to 4 bases, a quick infestation pit. I mean, on Blackburn, it really did feel that he was all in immediately with the Roaches, Ravages, and the Banelings. Doesn't seem like we're gonna get anything that looks like that. Will Drogo send this random little squad to the other side of the map, or is he just gonna try to get a cancel with the Oracles? I don't think we have enough energy, man. We're gonna run out of energy.
Yeah, the one Oracle wasn't able to fire there. Drogo with that random little hit squad on the right side, it looked like he was maybe thinking about it, right? Like, he doesn't know his opponent is taking up to Hive, because he did actually scout with a hallucination, the infestation pit, and the timing on that. And I don't know, man. Like, given how well it went for Denver in game 2, that's got to be on your mind a little bit, that you don't really want it to get to that exact same situation again.
Yep, and this time Drogo will go back to the double robo with the robo bait that he had in the first game. I liked everything he did in the first game, besides when he dropped the Fleet Beacon and the extra Stargate, which I know sounds silly, but I actually don't think he needed it at all. And I think carriers are great with upgrades, but sometimes having just Immortals, Archons, and Disruptors is even better than spending all that money on a Fleet Beacon and a second Stargate. And the downside of carriers, of course, is that it takes a little while. Once you build them, all that supply is caught up in your Stargate. If you don't need it, I don't think you need to go there, but we'll see what he does this game.
Those Oracles betrayed Drogo there. Like, I think like 2 of them ran out of energy just as they started firing, which is unfortunate for him, but he's getting charged this game. It looks like there's a bigger commitment to ground this game than the games before, because we don't see a second Stargate yet, multiple Disruptors coming out, lots of Stalkers as well. But yeah, just got a very much sit-back kind of game, but Denver's getting to that comfort stage, which he definitely enjoys.
Yeah, I mean, it almost comes down now to the High Templars against the Vipers. That is just such an important little interaction. And of course, the Novas matter, and if the Lurkers get in a good spot. Now Drogo, again, he already goes for the Fleet Beacon and the Stargate. Before, I feel like he's truly where he needs to be when it comes to the ground. And I honestly think it could be his downfall, because that's a lot of resources he's going to spend on stuff that's not going to help him for this big upcoming battle, where I think having a few extra Disruptors or Immortals or even Observers, Safety Ops, anything is slightly more important.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you for sure. I mean, Drogo's still got 40 supply to work with. This is a decent little Zealot run by, but Denver's quite quick to react. I love the fact that Drogo's not just doing this, he's moving over to the right side of the map and being aggressive with it as well. Does get a cancel, a kill even.
Yep, that's a kill. No cancel there, so Denver losing a few resources, but perhaps not the biggest of deal. Drogo's got his first 2 carriers on the way. Now at least start +1 air weapons immediately then. Carriers benefit so much, because all the interceptors have obviously 2 attacks, so +1 is basically +2. Everyone knows that I'm obsessed with air upgrades. I got a little self-conscious ever since Lambo started making fun of me. But you know what, man? These things matter.
I mean, yeah, you got to hold on to it, Kev. You got to hold on to it. Nice little, even a parasitic bomb and abduct as well. You know,
yeah, I overkill it.
Yeah, I don't think that's too bad for Drogo.
Maybe not. On the other hand, now Drogo doesn't have any revelations, and it's not like he can build a new Oracle, so observers become even more important, and he only has 1. I don't know, man. I'm honestly not feeling the super quick carriers that don't have any upgrades. Because if now the Disruptors get abducted, or even just 3 out of 4 Disruptors get abducted, I feel like we've got Jagannatha all over again.
I mean, we might do. This was... Oh, that was a nice force field. The single force field there, but Drogo very much not where he wants to be against this. I know he's going for a big warp in here. He's got a few Stalkers, a cannon. Lots of Zealots now running in 1 by 1. Maybe a bit of a sandwich coming in from Drogo. That could be nice.
Yeah, so far the battery is doing a very good job in buying some time. Here come the Novas. Few abducts do go off though. We lose 1 Disruptor, and the other 2 are going to run very low on HP. I mean, so many wild fights going on. The Queens are trying to hold their own. Can Denver get that final Disruptor? It seems like the answer is no, and he also didn't kill any of the Robos.
Oh, the
nice
Vipers.
blink there. He's going to hunt for the Vipers. Wow, this is cool stuff by Drogo. Well done.
What a scrappy game, man. They were doing 2 fights at once there. +1 much earlier for the air units as well. Drogo finishing the +2, blinking on in there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Zerg very soon. Disruptor shaves off a few Hydras, but has Drogo outstayed his welcome? He doesn't believe so yet.
No, I mean, he's got only 2 carriers here, but all the interceptors are out. Denver's got a lot of supply, but I don't really see it. I think so much was just on the way. Drogo now has 3 observers here. 2, it's a lot of stalkers. You don't want to stay around on creep for too long. Hydras with +2 missile attacks getting in range of a carrier, and they will kill 1 carrier. Oh, I do think you're spot on, Ben. But the extra carriers have shown up, reinforcements have arrived, but that's the 1 carrier with all the interceptors. And Denver just wants it all, and he gets 3 out of 4. What the hell?
Man, these guys are really duking it out here with every morsel that they have. Drogo also doing a Zealot run-by here into the natural kind of area. Both very close on supply, and look, he's got a fleet of observers with him as well.
Yeah, and Drogo doing a really good job in making sure that not all the units of Denver made it towards the top left. And I think Denver realizes that this base is beyond saving. He's going to save the drones, loses a few Hydras there. I mean, Denver is kind of running out of steam because he's just broke, man.
He is, but he's still trying to save this base. I mean, he just moved quite a few drones over to it. The Lurkers get in position as well. And he's going to hold, at least for now, but the Stalkers, do they get their last hit? Oh, they do, they do. That's actually quite big for Drogo.
Would have been nice for Denver to actually have an overseer or 2 here and there. So he could have, because there were definitely moments where he could have picked up these observers, and then I think he would have had an easier time keeping his Lurkers alive.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And +2 starting immediately for Drogo as well on his air units, just pummeling out 2 Immortals at a time, 2 carries at a time. I mean, the Zealot run-bys, actually, even though it didn't look like they did a hell of a lot, like they
were great.
They were super good. Yeah, they actually picked off a few Lurkers as well, stray Lurkers, stopped the reinforcements from getting over to that left base for Denver as well. Actually, very nice by both of them, despite being such a scrappy game.
Yeah, that was just a proper scrap, right? They were both throwing everything that they had. It felt really weird at first with the Queens having that awkward fight, but Drogo was able to hold, and that was the most important thing. I was honestly kind of worried about him in that phase, but the batteries, the Immortals, they were just really able to hold their own. And that is, I think, what allowed Drogo in the end to come out on top. And now, obviously, the game is great. And now it is great that you made that quick transition into carriers, because Denver doesn't have any Corruptors. He doesn't have the economy to drop a Spire and go for Corruptors now. So the only thing that Denver can really hope for is just grade up docks and somehow reduce the carrier count like that.
Yeah, but I love what Drogo's doing here as well, getting Storm, and the carrier count's getting really damn scary now. I mean, for Denver, he doesn't have that really sick upgrade lead anymore. He's at like 2-1. He is going for the extra armor here, which is going to switch into Queens, maybe some Infestors later on as well if the game does go on, but that's a really nice army for Drogo. Oh,
yep, good triple feedback. I honestly think Denver needs to go home now. I know it's a bit hard because the Queens are off creep. He's doing a good job in at least resetting the interceptor count. Hydras are working overtime. The Archons are actually kind of getting obliterated by the Lurkers. Not a bad fight by Denver, despite the fact that all of his Vipers got feedback. It's actually an amazing fight for Denver. How is he doing it, Ben?
I think Drogo, again, outstayed his welcome, Kev. Like, all the interceptors ran in 1 by 1. And look at this from Denver. He's hunting them down.
Yep, there are Zealots in the natural that have killed a lot of drones. 20 drones have gone down. Denver already wasn't very rich to begin with. He's even more broke now. Getting a base kill is nice, but if he doesn't get the kill, that means all of these carriers will rebuild their intercept account. And I don't know if we're going to get another fight like that. I'm a bit surprised that Drogo stopped building Disruptors. I mean, they're pretty damn good against Lurkers and Hydras.
Yeah, I felt that he was a bit indecisive that fight. Like, the carriers kind of went in solo, like the interceptors went in first before anything else, and interceptors, even though they're good, they're very fragile.
Drogo's going to need a few more feedbacks. Imagine if your carriers get abducted here. One of them does get abducted. Nice feedback on the other 2 Vipers. 1 Viper still has energy. Ooh, very close game. Battery overcharge has been popped. I mean, Denver just wants to end it now. He's on 61 drones. He's building nothing but units, and he's looking for another great feedback. Good feedback there on the Viper. If 1 more carrier does get abducted.
Absolutely. In this carrier count, it's been halted every time, which is absolutely Denver's game plan here. Doesn't want to let that number get or escalate to anything like 7 or 8, 10 even, because that's when it gets super damn scary. So he's done a really good job doing the one thing that he has to stop happening.
The Hydra's about to get +2 carapace too. And that's actually going to make them a little bit better again against the carriers. They'll survive for a little longer. I mean, Denver lost the base, lost 20 drones, but he's still here with 181 supply in total. And Drogo, indeed, you said it, feels a little indecisive, wants to take a fight, but it isn't quite sure what kind of a fight he really wants to take. And not having those oracles anymore, that's kind of annoying, because life would just be better if you could spam Revelation now. I mean, that one queen is getting a bit ahead of the party.
Yeah, I feel that Denver's doing a nice job of trying to bait Drogo into a fight that he doesn't want to take, but they both have to be so careful here. I mean, this game really is on a knife's edge at this point. Like, one bad fight for either one of them, and it's over.
Yep. I mean, Dendre is maxed out, but has 159 gas in the bank. That kind of says it all. Drogo is sending a lot of Zealots to the other side of the map. I mean, once more storms go down, but there's so many lurkers here. I mean, Denver is just looking for a few more key up docks. If he can get a couple of carries here, that would very well be all he needs. He gets 2. And I think there's still a little bit of energy on one of the Vipers. I mean, all the drones are going to go down on Denver's side of the map. We don't even need to look at it. There are Zealots everywhere. I mean, Ben, this is actually kind of the crazy game that you predicted. And we were both perhaps hoping for. Denver's got the bigger army, but he's got no economy anymore.
I mean, his army's actually really scary, but it does move kind of slow here. I say kind of slow, but it's going... Oh. Is he indecisive now? He doesn't know whether he wants to go back home to deal with the run-bys or to keep on killing Drogo. And Drogo, he's got his army on the right side of the map. Just recall somewhere. 2 Archons all left behind and scooted back in.
Yeah, just recall towards the natural. I'm not exactly sure why. But Drogo, he's just trying to buy time because he knows that he has done a ridiculous amount of economic damage. At one point, we even need to start being worried if Denver gets eliminated by Zealot run-bys. We're not quite there yet, but there is an Archon denying mining at the bottom side. I do feel that Denver is making a little boo-boo now, though, because the longer he waits, the worse it's gonna get with his 15 drones. Like, let's get some energy and go for it. Try to just abduct whatever you can. And I kind of like it for Denver, despite the fact that he's got no money and 15 drones. I think he has an army that can win the game, Ben.
I don't think he's mined a mineral for like the last 2 minutes, Kev, like for real. I want to see that income graph this game. But yeah, I mean, Drogo, it's not as if he's rich. It's just Denver's still not mining at all, actually. Like, at all. Just now, he's just saturated that far right base of his. Oh, good storm.
Yes, but I think that getting storm damage on your lurker is not that big of a deal right now for Denver. He just wants to make sure he doesn't get feedback. He's looking for abduct. Oh, nice feedbacks from the high ground. Only a single abduct goes off. But I still don't think Drogo can just run into this. And this is also awkward because lurkers are very tanky. And once the Hydras are behind, you're just going to lose all your interceptors. Drogo only has 31 interceptors. And that is definitely not enough to kill 31 Hydras.
No, definitely not. He's trying to whip out a few High Templars here to get some more storms on the field. And Drogo, he's just like, you know what? This army isn't going to cut it against you. I'm going where it can deal damage and going to his side of the map.
Oh, the queens. Oh, the queens are probably going to go down here. They have a lot of energy, so it would have been nice for Denver to have them at the other side. Denver is kind of going home again, but he's also done a very good job in denying most of the mining of Drogo. The only thing he doesn't know right now is that there is a base at 3 o'clock. Look at these 2 High Templars, by the way, on the right side near the Zelnaga Watchtower. Imagine a world where Drogo or Denver was able to get on top of those.
I mean, this is a wild game, Kev. This is not your normal PvZ. Like, they're both really dismantling one another. Denver's not mining still at this point in time. He's doing a good job of stopping the mining from Drogo a little bit as well, but Drogo's still eking out a few minerals here and there. And Drogo just did a tour of the map, clearing out all the creep, which is actually very important.
Denver sends one more lurker towards the top, but Denver probably thinks that Drogo's not mining. But Drogo has that base once more on the right side. Denver is now going to look for it. Now near the Zelnaga Watchtower, maybe he can lend the feedbacks. Feedbacks would be so important, but he does not quite get them yet. Nice storm though, that's a good one on the Hydras.
Yeah, definitely softening up a lot of those Hydras here. And this High Templar count, it's still growing as well. And Drogo right now has control of that tower. Not anymore. Or maybe. The Queens as well.
Yep. Not a good storm. I mean, the Hydra is running very low on HP. We had 31 Hydras. Now we only have 23. And not a good storm by Drogo. He's got 7 High Templars on the map. He can obviously morph a couple of them into Archons. I mean, Denver knows that he really is on the clock. The Archons are running into all the lurkers. This is it, Ben.
This is it, Kevin. I mean, the Archons, like, Drogo doesn't necessarily need to fight here, but he's being forced to fight here, Kev. Pulling in those carriers. I think Denver's actually going to do it here, despite not mining barely anything. And the resources lost tab. Drogo's lost way more than Denver as well at this point, and I think he got way too ahead of himself.
Yeah, I almost felt that Drogo was doing so good. Just run. It almost felt that he turned around because he morphed the High Templars into Archons. And he's like, oh, I want to save these. And that could very well cost him this best of 3 because he was doing a good job in reducing the Hydra count. Drogo is going to be forced to sacrifice this base one more time. During all of this, Drogo apparently took care of that one lurker that was denying mining from the base at the top left side. Drogo's going to send a few more zealots into the net. So this game is bananas. I think, needless to say, by far the most fun and exciting game we've had today.
Oh, absolutely. And it's really getting down to the wire as well. Like, if you came in and looked at this game right now and didn't know what happened, you'd be like, okay, that was a bloodbath. And I mean, that's exactly what it is. Oi. Oh, got on out there.
Yep. Feels like Denver doesn't quite know where Drogo went to. He's going to see it with one Hydra, actually. That was somehow behind that mineral line. Drogo is going to... Do you think Drogo can win by base trading? Could he potentially kill all the buildings? I think that's his best shot, to be totally honest.
I mean, it might be his best shot. He's really clamoring everything he can together, but I feel that I think like he can't beat this army. Like he absolutely can't. These carriers, and he's not mining barely anything anymore. Like this is it. This is it for Drogo. I think he has to try, but maybe Denver can kill him faster than he can kill Denver. Or you know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean. I don't know if Denver could kill all these buildings, especially a couple of assimilators on the top left. Denver's got 0 drones, by the way. He does have a bit of money and he does have larva, so he could potentially make drones. Yeah, I really think that Drogo's best choice is trying to win a base trade. Well, it seems that Drogo wants to just turtle on one base and he's like, try to run up this storm and or try to run up this ramp and I'll storm you, but it's the High Templars. Excuse me, the Vipers that are just problematic. He could even abduct the High Templar. I love that play. Yeah, Drogo's gonna have to go for the buildings. It's his best choice. It's probably not gonna work. It will only work if Denver is ultra indecisive and is not sure if he should try to save his buildings or not. But this is it, man. It's Drogo's only chance. He may as well fully send it.
Yeah, I mean, these lurkers now, I mean, everything that Denver has, he can win the fight. And I think these Hydras with the Vipers can move fast enough as well. But he doesn't know necessarily where the carriers are, but the carrier's going for this little extractor here on the far right. I mean...
I mean, you got to start somewhere, but I actually love this by Denver. Denver's got a spore crawler. I didn't know about this spore. Because I was like, if it's just those buildings, you know, the Zealots did a good job in softening a lot of them up. Maybe the carriers can do it quickly, but you're just never going to kill the spore. I think Denver has done it. Drogo is going to recall just to kill the Queens and the Hydra. It's actually not a bad play at all. I kind of like it. Can he kill the Queens? Drogo cannot let the Queens sing.
Yeah, I just saw Denver's face, right? He was smiling and laughing, and then that recall happened, and instant realization of what's going on. And he was like, oh, really? There's still a chance for you? So yeah, this is truly, I mean, this has been an awesome game. I think Denver has him on the ropes, but can't make any more errors like that.
No, it's over. Drogo knows it. These carriers are going to get abducted. Denver a little bit indecisive whether or not he wants to kill interceptors or the carriers, but it doesn't matter. He gets 2 out of 3. He's going to get the last one too. GG. Denver proves all of us wrong and Twitch it by winning his opening series